Good morning. Welcome to another day of I Choose. I am extremely excited because I have a guest with me today, but he's no stranger to me and probably not to many of you. But for those of you who don't know, this is my husband, Jonathan, and I thought it was so fitting today to have him come, and we're going to kind of converse back and forth for a few minutes about the deep meaning behind this next word that I have for us today. And that word is the word worship. And part of the reason I thought Jonathan would be able to help us think about it in a different way is because you are a worship pastor. That is his full-time job. And so I have the joy of getting to watch him lead worship every week and often being able to do it with him. But before we go any further, so my question is for you, how would you define what true worship is and what that looks like in the life of a believer?
Well, just so you know, this is totally unscripted. So she's asking me first without asking me what the questions are. So if I get it wrong, don't shoot me, okay? But, it is my profession, I guess. So being a professional worshiper. But honestly, when I was interviewed for this job, they asked me this question, and my response is this: worship is almost two words, worth-ship, and so it's ascribing worth to someone or something, and we ascribe worth to things all throughout our day, what we give our time to, what we give our energy toward, what we give our money to, and it reveals what we worship. And so to me, worship is ascribing worth to someone, and so today obviously we're saying that we are ascribing worth to our God, because of what He has done for us. And so the other aspect of it is it's a response. Worship for the Christian is a response to the grace that has been shown first to us. And so we respond back by saying, God, you are worth our affection, our desire, our time, our energy, our life. I give my life back to you.
Yes, absolutely. And so another question that I want to ask is, I think often within the church realm, maybe when we hear the word worship, we always think of music,
Right.
which is legit. It definitely has to do with music, but not just music. How else would you say, as believers, we are called to worship?
Yeah, I mean, it's completely holistic. It's like we said, what do we give our time and our energy to? Our finances. I mean, you show me your checkbook, I'll show you what you worship. And so it's really just goes way beyond music. Music can be an expression of worship, but you can be singing Christian songs and not worshiping at all, based upon what is going on within your own heart. Or maybe you're singing these songs and you're yelling at your kids or something at the same time. I mean, it's worship is our life. It's what we do. Because what we do is a response to God. So it could be your work or the business you run, or just the fact that maybe you get up every day and you serve your family well, you make dinner, you take care of your kids, you teach at school. I mean, whatever your profession is, whatever you give your day to, you can do it as an act of worship to our God.
Absolutely. And so for you, as you have obviously delved into the deeper meaning behind this word, what are some scripture passages that have helped you to understand better what that word actually means and what it looks like within our lives?
Yeah. So one big one that I would say has developed the way that I think about worship, it comes from John chapter 4, and it's actually when Jesus met with the woman at the well. And one of the questions among many that she asked was, where do we go to worship? Like, what's that all about?
Yeah.
And Jesus' response back to her was this. Like, basically, she was asking, should we go to this place or that place? And what Jesus says is, you don't go to a place anymore. God desires this. He said this. John chapter 4:23, he said, the hour is coming and is now here when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father is seeking such people to worship him. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship in spirit and in truth. So worship is not just, I went to worship, I went to church. Oh, there's my phone. It's not that. It's an act of our daily living. It's an act of our heart to God. Yeah. And so in that way, God desires us to worship him in spirit, our spirit communing with the Spirit of God, and in truth. God looks at the heart, not at the hands.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, so today, as you're looking at this devotional and reading it further, I'll let you know that going into this, when I was writing this, saying, I choose worship, in a sense, I was very much thinking of it on the musical aspect and looking at King David and all the ways that he worshipped, but he didn't just worship with music and his voice. It was throughout his entire life. What did his life look like? And it was a life of worship. And so today I encourage you to really dig into these passages. The one that Jonathan was talking about from John 4 is mentioned in the middle of this devotional today. And so I just encourage you, if you have time, read that whole chapter, that whole conversation at the beginning of John 4 with Jesus and the woman at the well and what she was asking, what true worship looked like. And then my challenge for you today is choose today to worship throughout your entire day, no matter what you're doing, or if you feel like it or not, do it anyway. And choose to make that a daily practice in your own life.
Yeah, absolutely.